Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to the first game week review of the season. These are going to be a regular feature every Monday on our channel. For the first 3 weeks leading up to the international break, these are going to be free to view for everyone. And after the first international break, these are going to be only available on our Patreon and YouTube member server. So if you guys do want to join membership, the link's right there below. It's patreon.com/, the FPL Wire, or you can become a YouTube member. If you like what you see, of course, it's all going to be free up to the first international break. So you can have a clear look at what you're getting. So in this video, what I will be doing is my pretty much my regular exercise every Monday morning is going through the Fantasy Football Scout members area. Usually I wouldn't go match by match, but I'd want to try doing that this season, see if we can find data we unearth, then compare stats for players, teams for the current game week and across the game weeks that have accumulated so far. Since it's only one game week, I think we can go deeper into the data today. Now, what you're seeing here is a Fantasy Football Scout members area. It's be highly recommended. They have been supporting the pod from game week one, from rather year one. And the information you get here is really incredible. What you're going to see here is or see only the tip of the iceberg of what the site has to offer. We highly recommend signing up for membership using the affiliate link in the description below. They have a discount going on and they also have a new app which you can use on your mobiles. I hardly recommend checking it out. So let's start up chronologically in the order of the matches which we played. Let's start up with Manchester United Fulham first. Now, Manchester United generated about 2.43 xg compared to 0.44 for Fulham. That's a good amount over there. Probably should have scored a bit more, but they're a bit known for that in terms of their clinical finishing. They had 14 goal attempts, but 4 were big chances and 5 shots on target. Now, let's see who had these shots. Attempts in the box, Bruno had 3, 2 of which were big chances. Muniz had a couple. Fulham recreated no big chances, so that's worth mentioning. United defense did look a bit better, but we don't know if that's just down to Fulham's attack being a bit rubbish. If you look at the big chances, Bruno had 2, Mount had 1, Garnacho had the other. Nothing we can really read from Fulham over here in terms of quantitative data. I'll also give you my match of the day impressions a bit later. And I did watch this match entirely. Now, what's interesting is Pereira is actually the biggest chance creator, but none of them obviously were big chances. Casemiro created 3, Garnacho, Mount, Muniz a couple. You don't see Smith Rowe anywhere in these numbers, so he potentially needs some time to get up to speed. NPXGI Bruno right on top. Garnacho impressive in a short cameo. Whether that was down to game state, I don't really know, but he does look an option at 6.5 million. That's about it from this game. Not really much else to take. Let's go have a look at the next one now. I'll just read you guys my notes, what I have written down from this game. Bruno to 2 big chances he could have scored. Good pick in this role. Robinson was very attacking. I found that encouraging as an owner. I'll be playing him from game week 2 on. He got forward a lot. Bassi is a major weakness in Fulham's defense. He was really responsible for a few chances. They need to sort out another centre back really quick. They haven't really replaced Dawson yet. I don't think Bassi is good enough at this level. Let's look at the next one now. Ipswich Liverpool. Now, this really was a game of two halves. Ipswich were very good in the first. The press was very aggressive. Liverpool couldn't really play out, but Liverpool changed things around, and it shows that Slot is a manager who's willing to adapt. They started then playing balls over the defense a lot, and then you can see the XG numbers here. Ipswich managed only 0.45, Liverpool with 2.65, so significantly better. In terms of the underlying numbers for the teams, 12 shots in the box for Liverpool and 6 big chances. That's a very, very big ratio of big chances to shots in the box. Combination of Ipswich being poor and Liverpool being very good, I think. Let's look at the chance creation numbers first up. Trent was tied for chances created with Diaz and Soberslai, but Trent had 2 of those big chances. I think one was for Diaz and one was for Jota. It was very good. Salah had what? 2 chances created, 1 big chance created. I think obviously that's a chance that Jota scored from. Nothing really you can tell from Ipswich over here. It's a difficult game to get a read on any of their assets. Look at goal threat. Salah had the most attempts. All 4 of his attempts were in the box, 3 on target and 2 big chances. He was very scary to watch as a non-owner, especially since he's getting these additional minutes that Jota is just never going to get. These last 20 minutes is where Salah can really do damage. in the attacking areas. He's somebody I really need to bring into my team soon, because a lot of these chances which you're not seeing over here was just when the ball was being played above the Ipswich defense and just narrowly Salah was being caught offside or the keeper was getting to the ball first. This doesn't really explain how aggressive Salah was on every out ball. Some other notes: Greaves looks a great option at 4.0. He was a target for every set piece for Ipswich. Robertson was quite attacking as well. He took some set pieces on one side. Trent was very attacking in open play, took set pieces on one side. I think this pool team will keep a lot of clean sheets compared to the previous regime. They emphasize control a lot more. Jota's obviously a good pick. He also missed a big chance from a Trent cross. He'll always be a early sub, but I think at 7.5, it could be very good value. Salah was very central and he was a constant outball. Kwanzaa is a big one. He was quite popular among the community, but with Konate subbing on, I think Kwanzaa is an avoid. That being said, I don't think he's an immediate sell. The UCL starts now around game week 4, and then you might see that Konate is being preferred in the Champions League while Kwanzaa plays in the Premier League. So don't be in a rush to sell him. Try to hide him for another 3-4 game weeks if you can, and we can see how that plays out. Soboslai is an interesting one to watch. He played the number 10 role. We'll just have a look at the position maps over here. Pretty reasonable. Who you can see Salah is the last man over here. Jota, Diaz, McAllister, Soboslai. It doesn't really show as much up on this, but he was constantly getting into the box. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps that role, because the number 10 role, I guess you could call it a hybrid 10, is very attacking for slot. Move on to the next game. Arsenal Wolves. I don't think it was as comfortable a win for Arsenal as the XG numbers over here suggest. It's 1.24 XG for them versus just 0.47 for Wolves. I think Wolves did have a few good chances. There was one in particular one that I thought Raya did really well to save. Arsenal won't really add their fluent best. You can see over only 2 big chances created out of 12 shots in the box. Compare that to what we saw for Liverpool earlier. That one big chance was the one that Raya saved, I was talking about, of the new striker. Havertz, 5 shots in the box, but only one big chance, only one shot on target. There was another good chance, I remember, that he played just right when he tried to finesse it off the far post. Saka looked very sharp. 4 shots in the box, 1 big chances, 3 shots on target, which again bodes very well for his bonus point potential this season. Nothing really much to take from Wolves otherwise. Saka again the top chance creator as well. 5 chances created. Very strong underlying numbers. At 10 million, I think Saka potentially could be a season keeper. It's going to be very difficult to get rid of him while he's offering such great value. Let's check out the NPXGI numbers. Saka way on top, 0.73. Havertz, 0.49. Nobody else really to take note of. So a quick look at the average positions as well. So that's Wolves. Havertz, Odegaard, Saka off in the farthest man. Havertz, again, very interesting option. I think from game week 6, once the fixture with City out of the way, could potentially look to get him in. Or even for game week 3, I don't mind that move. Everton and Brighton. This was a pasting. I think Everton, though, a bit unlucky not to score. They had an open goal that they really should have scored. I think it was Dwight McNeil who missed that. Joao Pedro hit the post as well. But 1.43 XG and 3 goals seems very anti-Brighton. We know that they are the team that always underperforms the XG. Hopefully it's a change. Minte was quite lively before his substitution. Mitoma as well looked like a good option again. I missed Mitoma. He was a great player. Let's have a look at some goal threat numbers here. So yeah, only 9 shots in the box. 2 big chances. They nearly scored a 4th as well, which was just marginally ruled out. Mitoma with the most chances. 4, or with 2 big chances, 3 shots on target. That's pretty cool. Adingra with just 48 minutes took 2 attempts, 2 shots in the box. But again, this was after the red card, so you have to caveat the data a little bit. But these numbers are very encouraging for Mitoma at 6.5 million. A lot of us are looking for a jump off for Nkunku. he might be someone that could help us very soon. Minte created 3 chances in just 43 minutes. That's absurd. Very impressive. Out of which one was a big chance. Milner otherwise was a top chance creator. Don't really expect to see that, but usually Mitoma creates a few chances as well. I'm not seeing him anywhere here. Joao Pedro's numbers are quite poor overall. There's just one chance created over here. Let's have a look in terms of goal threat. Yeah, they said one attempt that was outside the box for Pedro. Not very encouraging for Pedro owners. That. Let's have a look at their positions really quick. There's Mitoma, Welbeck, and Pedro. While you're watching this video, if you're liking what you see, we encourage you guys to hit a like and subscribe so that you can follow more of this content that will be coming. And a reminder that all this stuff is going to go behind our Patreon after 3 game weeks. So get on there if you can. Let's have a look at the Newcastle game now. This obviously, the data from Newcastle has to be read with a large pinch of salt because after the red card, all they were doing, especially after they scored, was defending for their lives. That being said, they didn't create a load of chances even prior to the red card. Southampton were possibly might be the best side of the promoted teams for the Premier League because they like to keep possession. But again, with 1.77 xG, they didn't really create. So they created chances, but they didn't really should have put the ball in the back of the net. So that is going to be a concern. Brighton Diaz is completely out of position. He's playing centre forward alongside Armstrong, but he's always going to be getting hooked around 75 odd minutes. So if you don't mind that, I think he's a decent pick for when their fixtures get better. Like we are talking about 19 attempts for Southampton. It's a lot. 3 big chances. I expect some more big chances against these tired legs, 10 men, but it is what it is. All the shot numbers obviously were from Southampton. 4 for Armstrong, 2 for Brighton Diaz, but worth noting that both of those were big chances. The 5.5 bracket is just fantastic this year. Was the main chance creators for Southampton. Downs, Aribo, Alcaraz. Just 1-1 chance created. I don't see a talismanic creator over here. But in terms of goal threat, it's pretty much all going through Stuart Armstrong. Let's move on to the next game. Go to Forest, Bournemouth. Elanga was quite lively. I thought more so than Hudson-Odoi, but it was interesting that it was Hudson-Odoi who was taking corners as well. I don't think Gibbs-White took any of the only videos I saw. I could only see Hudson-Odoi. I have to check this data further. Chris Wood was subbed at 70 minutes with Taiwo coming on who looked good. And their 4.5 million forward for Bournemouth, Jebison, almost scored at the death. But his minutes are probably more likely because the new centre forward from Porto hasn't really gotten on the pitch yet. So nothing to really get excited about. In terms of numbers, it's interesting that Bournemouth created more big chances than Forest. I expected Bournemouth to be a bit weaker after losing Solanke, but the numbers are still decent from an attacking perspective. Who had the most shots? Semenyo and Tavernier. Semenyo, of course, was playing as a striker. He wouldn't be doing that again. Just one attempt for Gibbs-White in the box. One attempt from outside. No big chances. I think the only big chance, obviously, they had fell to Chris Wood. See, there was only one shot for him all game. Not really what you want to see from your FPL centre forward. Chance creation numbers. Gibbs-White did create 3 chances, the same number as Hudson-Odoi. But none of these was a big chance, which is not encouraging. Let's have a look at the expected numbers over here. Chris Wood's single close chance is 0.73 xG. Otherwise, Tavernier, Semenyo, Hudson-Odoi 0.27. Nothing worth writing home about. Gibbs-White at 0.17. Apologies for the noise. There's some construction going on outside my house. Can't really do anything about that. West Ham Villa. Pretty open game. 2.46 xG for West Ham, 2.03 for Villa. Now, Tielemans took some set pieces, corners and free kicks. Bailey really should have scored. He had an openish net where he hit the post. Paqueta, we know, is West Ham's penalty taker now. Duran was quite impressive when he came on for Watkins around the 61st minute mark. I think this season we're not going to see as many 90 minutes appearance from Watkins with the Champions League coming around. Duran is a very able backup. I won't even be surprised to see Watkins on the bench in the odd game if they have a massive game away to Real Madrid or something like that around the corner. So keep an eye out. Rogers was quite impressive. You don't see everything over here in the stats. He was playing a very central role, and let's have a look at that average position first before we see the underlying numbers. Now you see Watkins over here 11, Bailey on the right, Rogers playing just behind the striker. Very narrow. There's basically no left winger at all you can see. Morgan is playing very centrally just behind Watkins, which is a very encouraging position. Who do they really have that could play that role besides him? I think maybe Buendia, maybe Ramsey, but I'm impressed from what I saw of Morgan so far. 4 big chances for each side. You don't really see that very often. Attempts in the box. Souček, yeah, he was pretty much West Ham's target for everything. Was a constant nuisance to Villa. Duran impressive. 2 big chances in 35 minutes. In terms of the other guys, just 1 attempt in the box for Bailey. Nothing much for Kudus. Bowen obviously looked a little bit rusty. Wasn't really, I think, recovered from his England exertions or lack of. Rogers, 2 attempts, just 1 in the box. He hit the shot. He got a good save out of the keeper early on. In terms of chance creation numbers, Tielemans was the biggest chance creator. The big chance created is a corner that Amadou Onana scored from. Bailey with 2. Who else was a big chance creator? Let's have a look. Nobody else created more than 1 big chance. Somerville's cameo was interesting at 6.0. One to watch when Villa's fixtures get a little bit better. Expected goal involvement numbers. Souček way out on top. Onana second. Kudus. As you can see, Watkins is nowhere near in any of these numbers. Possibly will take some time to get back to fitness. It's very early days though. He had no preseason minutes, so we can kind of expect that. Now, moving on to Sunday's games. Brentford Palace. And I have to say, as a non-Eze owner, I got very, very lucky. I think Eze could have had multiple goal contributions, goal assists. I haven't really looked at the underlying numbers yet, but it was very difficult to watch as a non-owner. He looks like a top pick, and now that his release clause has expired, I don't think he'd be moving from Palace with all the money they're getting for Gehi as well. So if you're in the market now for a 7 million mid, you want to get rid of Nkunku and have 0.5 in the bank, I don't mind the move up to Eze. Looked fantastic, and Palace in general looked good going forward in attack, not so much defensively at least. Munoz attacking, but not as attacking as he is in home matches. Got into the boxes a few times, got to put a few crosses in. I still love him as a 5.0 pick. I think he's a clear pick from defenders in that price bracket. Brentford looked quite ropey defensively. Flecken is just a horrible keeper. He got bailed out a few times. Should have conceded a lot more. Now, in terms of attempts, Palace obviously had more, but they just created 1 big chance, which isn't great. I didn't expect that. A lot of those chances look like bigger chances to me. But this is the Opta classification anyway. Chance creation numbers, Bumo had 3 chances created, so he has more than just goal threat. And definitely one we need to watch out for when the fixtures get better around game week 6. Both Bumo and Wissa could be great options. Munoz 1 chance created. You don't see Eze show up over here. There was 1 really good chance he made for Mateta. It was just marginally offside. It's not Mateta, it was for Edward, in fact. Now you look at attempts. Eze 4 attempts in the box, 3 attempts on target, 7 attempts in total. He was a bit more selfish though than I would have liked. I think he had a few chances where he should have played his teammates on. I remember once Mitchell was almost open. He could have passed to him. Glasner wasn't happy about that, but that was just Eze being him. I think he's a top pick. Nothing negative to say about him. And again, owners were very unlucky not to get any returns. Apart from that, it's just Vissa who had more than 1 attempt in the box. Let's have a quick look at the average positions as well for Palace. See Mateta way out on top. Munoz and Mitchell equally advanced over here. Eze playing right alongside the striker on the left side. So he wasn't really playing a number 10. You saw him drift out in this wide role a lot. Something to watch, note. Now let's have a look at the last one. My team Chelsea against Man City. Before we look at the underlying numbers, I think the main player we are concerned about is Nkunku, who was subbed off around the 58th minute. He played on the left wing, but the setup that Chelsea went with yesterday is unlikely going to be repeated in the future games where we see Enzo, Caicedo, and Lavia in the same lineup. So I do think we could see Nkunku shifted to a more central role the next game. I don't think the wing role really suited him. And the problem is that is if he's going to be playing on the wing regularly, he's going to be competing with Neto, Mudrik, Madueke, too many players in that position. So something we should watch out for. I think we should give him one more game at least before we rush to any judgment because he's a good player. I think Maresca will try to fit him in his lineup more often than not. Guardiola wasn't very attacking, but that's to do more with the absence of Rodri and the fact that Rico Lewis was getting forward a lot. Bernardo Silva with two attempts in the box, Fernandez with two as well, Haaland two, could have easily scored another. Sanchez made a good save off him, but in general, City weren't really purring. They controlled the game, they did what they needed to. I don't think any of the chance creation numbers are going to be really that great as well. Jackson potentially should have scored. Chelsea looked a bit better than they did in preseason. You can't really judge them off this game. I think we need to wait and see how they do against Wolves and Palace before making any judgment. But I wouldn't be obviously investing in any of their players right now. So that's about it. The video ended up going a bit longer than I thought it would. I think it's a bit more in depth for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do like and subscribe. If you want to see more exclusive content, do hop on to our Patreon or join our YouTube membership. And once again, all the data you saw was from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. There's a lot more that we can dive into as the season progresses, player comparisons, season tickers, etc. Highly recommend signing up. Thanks for joining.